Hello, everybody. Today's day is Friday, the 2nd of January, and this is 2026. It's crazy. We are so far into the future, but obviously we're not. This is the president, but that's how it feels. Anyway, I'm making this channel because, like many of us, I procrastinate year after year after year, and I kind of thought to myself the other night, I was like, this is 2026. I have full control over my life. I have full sovereignty over my decisions. So I think that I'm just gonna go for it. And who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Like literally, that is my mindset now. I've spent so long over analyzing, over intellectualizing every single small facet of my life. And I kind of have to be real with myself and confront myself and look myself in the mirror and I go, how much do you want to plan and not do anything and stay stagnant year after year after year? Versus, do you want to just bite the bullet and go for it and do it? Like, I have no plan right now. I have no script. I have no idea about what I even want to say, which is probably a bad idea. I should probably have some fucking talking points, but I don't. And I'm just going to let this go out into the ether. I'm going to allow myself to, let this channel be my witness as I grow and evolve into the person, the woman that I know I can become. And yep, I'm just filming on my freaking MacBook. I've got no fancy equipment, whatever. But that's not important. I feel like if you can hear me, if you can see me, like, it doesn't matter if there's a few pixels missing, it's fine. I don't see the problem. So, hope you guys are down with that because I'm not buying a fucking camera. I literally do not have the moolah for that. But I'm just so excited to see where this fucking goes. Like, seriously, I feel like this is going to be my witness in so many ways. I am going to change and evolve so much this year, and I promise. I fingers crossed promise. And this is me being for real. Like, whenever I think about okay, I'll just give you a little synopsis of my last year, right? 2025, I ended the year, I was going to law school. I was super excited about that. I was like, my whole entire life I wanted to be a lawyer. I tried so hard in school to get the grades to get into law school. I got into law school. I go there, and literally the entire year, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Because I realized that the one thing that I actually wanted was I wanted to fast forward to the end of law school just so I can say that I'm a lawyer. That's literally all I wanted. When I really thought about it, I was like, you know what, like, I actually don't enjoy the readings. I don't enjoy the thought of like hustling at an internship to do law. I don't even like law. Like, law is very boring. Like, reading through the just the cases and then applying things, and I was just like, what is this? Like, this is just not fun. I don't know. I just, in my body, I knew that this was not for me. Even before I started law school, like, yes, I was excited for it, but like when I really thought about it, like, my heart was also kind of filled with like this sense of dread. I was like, fuck, like, I'm gonna have to go for like 5 years, the most like boring stuff ever, like late nights, grinding away at this stuff, like, difficult stuff to comprehend, but I have to do it, like that sort of mindset, and like being really in this like aggressively masculine, like pushing energy of like, just go, like push, 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 doesn't matter what you feel, just get it done, this is what you've been working so hard for. And when I had that internal monologue, I was like, who the fuck am I? What the fuck am I doing? Why am I putting myself through this? For me, I was like, is success actually, saying I'm a lawyer, or is success knowing that when I don't feel like something's aligned, I'm actually brave enough to go against that, and get myself out of that? Am I actually brave? That to me is actually more difficult than just enduring. And I don't want my life to be a series of events where I'm just enduring over and over and over again. I want to be living. I want to be inspired. I want to be happy. I want to feel genuinely, in love with my life. So that was one aspect that I immediately changed. That was like my epiphany moment where I was like, you know what? Your life is yours. Don't live it on behalf of other people or what the fuck you think that other people want from you. No. Live it on behalf of yourself. No one knows what they're fucking doing. That's one thing that I learned in hospitality too. I've worked in hospitality for about 5 years now, and I've been a manager in hospitality for about 2. The main thing that you realize is that most people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Most people are just on this rock for the first time. Well, everyone is, I hope. To my knowledge. But yeah, everyone's on this floating rock for the first time. So how about we just do what the fuck we want to do? And everyone has their own individual strengths, you know what I mean? Anyway, once I decided that I didn't want to do law anymore and that it wasn't for me, I started actually making moves to get out of that. I didn't just sit there and wallow and go, my life sucks. One, nobody wants to hear that all the time. It's so fucking annoying when you hear people just complain, because it's like, why don't you just do something about it? The next thing I changed was I immediately quit vaping. I immediately cut down smoking as well, because I literally vaped every single day for 5 years, which is not good. Obviously it's not good because I'm only 20 years old, so do the math. That's like really fucking not good. But I was doing that shit every single day, and I'm telling you guys, I tried to quit so many times. Like, you know, all the reasons that make sense to quit, you know, all this stuff. Anybody who suffers with addiction knows all of it. It's not a matter of not knowing and not being educated on the risk, not at all. It's just this feeling of helplessness, like genuine helplessness. Like, you actually can't get out of it. And for so long I did struggle with that, and I tried to quit so many times. You know, you throw away all your stuff, and then within a matter of a couple of days, after you literally have been, you know, fiending and itching to fucking have a vape this entire time, you know, make it past day 1, maybe day 2, and then you just get this feeling of like utter, like it just washes over you, and like I'd almost black out and then find myself standing in the fucking vape shop ordering it, and then I would just like have it in my hand, and then I was like, I'm just gonna do it. And then I would repeat that cycle over and over again. I would literally relapse again and again and again and again. I can't even tell you how many times I try to quit. You know, I'd throw away all my stuff, I'd go like a day without it, maybe a few hours without it, and then I'd go digging through the bin, or like, you know, I'd try and break it, and then I would just try and fix it again. Like, it's just fiendish behavior, and I did that for so long, and I realized, you know, if I want to be the woman that I want to be, you know, she doesn't vape. She doesn't actually sit up in the morning, every single morning, and the first thing she reaches for is a vape. That's not what she does. She does not do that. So I decided no more. And the one thing, I'm not gonna lie, the one thing that really helped me was listening to the audiobook, How to Quit Vaping by Alan Carr. And I really do think that you should use that book, that audiobook, as your last resort. Like, don't like desensitize yourself to it. Like, I feel like it only really worked for me because I tried so many times to quit, and the only thing that was like left was this fucking book. I was like, you know what, 6 hours, what do I have to lose? You know what I mean? Let's just fucking play. And then I was driving, and part of the book is that it continuously tells you, you know, like it runs through all these different chapters, but at the end of them it'll be like, you know, but we're not pressing you to stop vaping now, so keep on taking your vape. It's not time to have your last vape yet. It's so different because for so much of like my time trying to quit, it was my mental discourse was like, you have to quit, like you're an awful person, and put it down, how gross, like think about your lungs, think about your health, like think about this and that. And I just feel like all of a sudden having this book tell me, no, just keep doing it, while it was running through all these chapters, it was like a complete fucking mind fuck. And I literally just threw my vape out of my window as I was driving. And I feel like that's so bad because you shouldn't be littering, but I fucking had to do it. Like, literally. I'm not kidding, guys. It was the most profound thing, and that sounds so dumb, but it really, really, really was. Like, I was driving along, had this book playing, and I was probably in like hour 2 or 3, and it was still telling me, it was like, you know, keep having a vape, and I was like, no, I was like, I can't. I threw that shit out of the window, and never had a vape after that ever again. It was like my emotional support vape too. Anyone who knows me while I was addicted knows that like I literally used to go to school with it under my shirt, having in a lanyard. That is some really fiendish shit right there. I literally used to go to school with my school shirt on, and then under my school shirt I'd have a lanyard on with my vape attached to the end of it. Because you know why? They used to do bag searches at my school, and they would make you, you know, dig out your pockets and everything like that. And I was like, you know what? I came up with the best idea ever. If I just have it around my neck, under my school shirt, nobody will ever find it. And that's true, nobody ever did find it. But like, why are you going through those lengths? Obviously because I'm addicted, but like, just that thought, like I literally went from being that person who couldn't even go, like, I'm not kidding guys, I couldn't go anywhere without it. So I let that go, and I honestly have not looked back since. I can say that full proud. I'm honestly so shocked to say that out loud. I can't believe I'm actually saying that out loud, but I actually do not have any cravings. Like, if somebody, you know, I've been around people who vape, like that's the thing as well. I'm not even affected by people who vape near me. Like, it's not even like a thing. I'm genuinely not kidding when I say that moment changed something in my brain. Like, I can never go back, and it's like the most insane thing ever. Like, something in my brain just won't let me ever vape again, and I don't even feel affected by it. Like, it's like something just switched off in my brain. After 5 years of every single day, something honestly switched off, and I truly believe that it was the power of my decision. When you really speak that into yourself with such conviction, like, I will change my life, things will be different. Like, I'm telling myself right now that things are going to be 100% different. When you tell yourself that, honestly, and the universe and yourself and your soul hears that and receives that, I swear on everything that it changes everything when you make that decision and you actually just do the thing. That's why I'm making this channel, because I'm like, you know what, I am making a decision. I want to have freedom in my life. I want to have a legacy almost, like, you know, I don't want to be like this person that like lives and then after, you know, 80 years and 90 years of living, I'm in a gravestone or whatever the fuck. I'm a tombstone? Am I like in a tomb or a grave? Anyway, I don't want to be a little gravestone that you see and then you just have no idea about who she is. Like, you know, I kind of just want this to be my witness. And I feel like that's a human need and I'm going to allow that. You know, I'm not going to like shame myself for that. It's not about wanting fame. It's not about wanting notoriety. It's about wanting to have a legitimate trace of you somewhere on this earth. You know what I mean? That was really like poetic how I put that. So I'm really proud of myself. Anyway, that was the second way that changed my life. So first of all, it was the degree. Second of all, it was the vaping, and I cut that out and I have not looked back since. Number 3, the third way I changed my life, I changed my environment. I had been obviously living at home my entire life, and I decided to move out. I moved out to an area, a suburb much closer in like the city that I live in, because my parents live in a very rural area. So I feel like once you decide to move out somewhere from a very rural area, I feel like you just realize how much you were missing out on. I feel like even just like me going to work, it went from being like an hour drive to like a 9-minute drive. And like it was like instead of everywhere being an hour plus away, I was like everything is like 5+ minutes away. And how crazy is that? Like I loved that feeling so much, and I literally made the most out of every single day. I would go for huge walks all around the area. I'd go to the beach. I'd go to like these little coffee shops, get myself a cappuccino, just do all the best things ever, and like just feel so inspired. I started reading again, because all throughout high school I was just this total like #I hate books type of person. Like I literally would not, like I'd never read a book for like the last 5-6 years, which is crazy because when I was a child I was literally like, you know, room full of all these fairy tales, all these bookshelves everywhere. Getting back into reading books was very therapeutic for me. I literally had this spot that I would go to all the time on my walks when I moved out, and I would sit there and I would look out to the harbor, and it was this bench that looked out onto the beautiful sea. I could see the harbor bridge in the distance. I would sit on that bench, have my book open, I'd have my cappuccino, and I would just read, and I would just feel the sun on my skin, and I would look up at the seagulls, and I literally would just lock my eyes on a seagull, and I would just like imagine being that seagull. And I feel like almost just by like looking at a seagull, I felt that same freedom. I felt it like pouring into me, like it had like a light, like a laser beam, and it was like pouring in all that freedom and like that feeling of like just being up there. This is actually so cuckoo. I know how I look right now, but I'm just giving you some freaking backstory. Like listen. And I was just like, I would just feel like the wind in my feathers. Okay, maybe not that far, but like I would just like, I'm telling you guys, just do it. Just lock eyes on a seagull and just like imagine how it would feel. Because honestly, if I had like any superpower, it would be flight, or pausing everything but I can still move. That's also a really fun one as well. I can like pull pranks, everything like that. But yeah, if I could have a superpower, it would be flying, because that would be amazing, right? Just flying over like the water, like how fun. Anyway, but yeah, things will all be okay. And that's the thing, I am making this decision to myself that I'm going to change everything, and you're going to be my witness to that. You're going to be the witness here that I bounce ideas off of. You're going to see me grow, because I know I will. I've decided that, and so it will happen. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys liked this video. I gave you a little backstory about my last year, how things have all unfolded to get me to where I am now, and I've set my intention that I'm going to have the most glorious, abundant, amazing, happy, free, liberated, joyful life ever this year. I'm going to have the best time ever, and you're going to be there to watch it. So yeah. See you guys. Love you so much.